A Georgia congressman is defending his suggestion that low-income children should have to sweep floors to earn their lunches. Representative Jack Kingston says children should work for free meals they get from the National School Lunch Program. His comments were caught on tape at a Republican Party meeting over the weekend.
Why don't you have the kids pay a dime, pay a nickel, to instill in them that there is, in fact, no such thing as a free lunch. Or maybe sweep the floor in the cafeteria. And yes, I understand that would be an administrative problem, and I understand that it would probably lose you money, but think what we would gain as a society in getting people, getting the myth out of their head that there is such thing as a free lunch.
I can't believe I just heard that, by the way. Kingston is also running for Senate and now says he was trying to address a bigger issue. Here's what he told CNN this morning.
The greater discussion was about the American work ethic and how do we pass that on to the next generation. And, giving it to my critics in terms of, well, I did not specify clearly that this was not an indictment on anybody in a particular socioeconomic group, this would be good for all children.
All right, so he wants all children to work for their food. Okay, I understand that, but I think I understand that, right? I never had to sweep floors for my parents to feed me. And if my parents didn't feed me, guess what? They would get arrested for child endangerment. Lynn Berry is here, along with Alex Thomas. Great to have you back. Where do we start with this one, Lynn?
Well, Vinny, let's take another angle,
okay,
because we obviously know your opinion on this. Let's take the angle that, do you have your kids clean up the dishes after dinner? Do you give them chores? Do you have them mow the lawn? Things like that. And the Representative Kingston on New Day this morning was explaining, while he'll give his critics that he should not have said specifically just the kids that were getting a free lunch, that all kids should do that.
Right.
That's the other side of it, that kids should learn at some point that there are responsibilities that come along with things. And I'm sure you do that for your kids as well. I'm sure you have them do chores.
All due respect to the politician, I'll raise my children the way I want to raise my children. All right? Don't tell me how to raise my children, okay? Did you hear me? Don't tell me how to raise my children, number one. Number two, he did specifically say poor children, and he sees them differently. Now, he can raise his children his way, and they may turn out wonderful, and they probably did if he has grown children. I don't know. But I don't want politicians telling any of us how to raise our children. And the kids that get the free lunch are the kids that aren't getting food at home.
No, and I don't think anyone disagrees that children should be fed.
Right.
I think that's probably. I think it's important to discuss both sides of this. I think that one of the things he said was, the problem with this country is that conversations can't be had, and that if you can't present another side to anything, that is, I mean. Listen, Vinny, I'm sure.
The problem is the government's telling us how to do too many things.
That's a conversation that's happening on social media.
Is that what's happening there? Is anyone on my side?
There are tons of people on your side. I don't think that there's. I think that the conversation being had, which is why I started this with, well, let's present the other side, because we know there's one side to this, and we're hearing this one side, and that's really what social media has become, is a place for people to sound off.
When Kingston comes out and says, I didn't clarify it well enough, it was taken out of context in a sort of way because it wasn't clarified. That's what happens on social media. Things are so easily taken out of context that it blows up, and people are attacking him. But when you look deeper into it, there is that conversation. Should kids have to give back at school and help work? I mean, when I was in high school, we had to work in the lunchroom. It wasn't based on that, but that's what people are saying on social. That's a great, Michelle, that's a great life lesson. Nowadays, kids feel like they should get whatever they want without working for it. But that's the deeper conversation, that all kids should have to help out and give back at school and not get anything for free.
Well, right, we can have the conversation, but I don't want to be told by a politician how to raise my children.
Well, I think that you're making the assumption that he said to you, Vinny, or any American at home should be having their kids do chores at home. There you are correct. What he's saying is if we are going to create a federal program where we offer free lunches to children, should we attach something to it, like there are chores that go along with it, just like he's making a decision as you would as a parent at home. Not saying that you should take this lesson and apply this at home. But if we are going to institute a federal program where we apply federal funding to it, that should there be something else attached to it?
Yeah, and who are the kids that get the free lunches? Are they the kids with money or the poor kids? It's the poor children who aren't getting the food at home.
But it should be all the kids.
And that's what he said at the end of it. He said this should be all children. And that's where he says, absolutely, I'll give it to my critics. I should have specified that this means all children should have these things applied to them in school.
So the rich kids get free food at school, too? Is that what's happening?
What do you mean?
Well, he's talking about the federal program, right? Isn't that what we're talking about? He's talking about attaching work to the federal program, right? You get the federal money for food, you have to work for it. That's kind of what he's saying.
Any kid at that school should have to work.
Okay, all right. Good chatter.
I hope that's what he meant.
Vinny, how do you feel about it?
Feed the children. Children need to eat.
I think everybody can agree. I think everybody can agree. Feed the children. Children should eat.